of snow. Our story starts on a winter day high up in the sky in a cloud that is very, very cold. This is the story of snow. Clouds are mostly made of air, which we can't see. Then there's water vapor, water in the form of a gas, which we also can't see. We do see the billions of tiny droplets of liquid, water, and ice crystals that float in the cloud. They reflect light, making the cloud visible. Snow begins with a speck. Clouds are mostly made of air and water, but there are also bits of other things like tiny particles of dirt, ash, and salt. Even living bacteria can float in the wind and end up in a cloud. A snow crystal needs one of these specks to start growing. These specks are all much smaller than the eye can see, but if you could see them, ash or soot from a volcano fire, grain of pollen from a flower, salt left over from the ocean water that evaporates, particle of soil, and a bacteria from plant leaves. The speck becomes the center of a snow crystal. When a speck gets cold enough, water vapor will stick to it. If you had a microscope that could see such small things, here is what you would see. Water vapor sticks to the cloud speck, making the speck wet. More water then vapor sticks to the wet speck, forming a water droplet. The droplet freezes into a ball of ice. More water vapor sticks to the ball of ice, and it grows into a hexagon-shaped crystal, or ice crystal. Water vapor continues to stick to the crystal. Faster growth on the corners causes 6 branches to sprout. The branches keep growing, sprouting little arms of their own. And a beautiful snow crystal is born. These photographs of real snow crystals are shown much larger than their actual size. Here's their actual size, little tiny, but they're enhanced. The crystals were collected during many different snowfalls. A snow crystal forms as it falls. As the snow crystal gets bigger and heavier, it starts to fall to the earth. It keeps growing as it falls through its cloud, taking on its own special shape. The shape depends on how wet the cloud is and how cold it is. A snow crystal can start to grow one way, but then grow another way when it passes through a wetter or colder part of its cloud. The crystal stops growing and soon after falling below the clouds. Parts of a snow crystal can break during the fall, causing the arms to look different. Snow crystals can be stars. One common snow crystal shape is the star. Star-shaped snow crystals usually have 6 arms reaching out from the center point. The center point is the home of the speck that started the crystal. The 6 arms look alike, but they are almost never exactly alike. Star-shaped snow crystals are called dendrites, which means tree-like. They form when a cloud is full of moisture and when the temperature hovers around 5 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 15 degrees Celsius. This is the simplest kind of plate crystal, a hexagon. Plates form when there's not enough moisture in the clouds for them to form, and when the temperature conditions are a few degrees warmer or colder than the temperature range that stars require. Snow crystals can be plates. Plate crystals are like thin star crystals, but they don't have arms. The simple kind of plate is a hexagon with 6 straight sides. More complicated plates have points where arms almost grew. Simple plate crystals are much smaller than stars. They can be as wide as 1 millimeter, but they're usually a lot smaller. There's their actual size. The points on this plate crystal are the beginning of arms that were just starting to develop when the crystal fell out of its cloud and stopped growing. Snow crystals can also be columns. So a column crystal are very tiny, usually no longer than a half a millimeter. Column-shaped snow crystals are shaped like pencils. They're not flat like the stars and plates. Columns can form high in the clouds and at very cold temperatures. They are very tiny, and when they fall, they make for a very slippery snow. A column has 6 sides. These are the 3 types. There's a solid column. These are the smallest type of column. There's a hollow column. These are the longer and more common than solid columns. And then there's the capped column. The capped column. The caps on each end of these columns can be plate crystal or star crystals. Capped columns like this one develop when a column crystal moves into a part of its cloud where the temperature is right for plates or stars to grow on the ends. The 2 end caps can grow to be different sizes, as you can see here. 6 is the magic number for snow crystals. If you think of a star crystal as a clock, the arms of the star crystal can point to 2, 4, 6, and 8, 10, and 12 o'clock, only those times. So 6 is the magic number for snow crystals. This is because of the nature of water. Water molecules, the smallest units of water, attach themselves in groups of 6, which usually leaves the crystals with 6 arms or 6 sides. A perfect star or plate snow crystal has 6-fold symmetry. That means if you divided the crystal into 6 pie wedges, each pie wedge would have the same shape. Water molecules attach to each other in the 6-sided rings, like 6 kids holding hands. When many of these hexagonal rings are joined together, a large hexagonal crystal is formed. Snow crystals are rarely perfect. So much can happen during a snow crystal's fall to the earth, it is rare that one will turn out perfectly. If a droplet of water passes close to one arm of a snow crystal, that arm can start to grow faster. Before long, that one arm will be a lot longer than the others, as you can see there. A snow crystal can be a twin. A snow crystal can have 12 arms. This is a twin crystal, which happens when 2 crystals start from the original speck and form on top of each other. A snow crystal can have bumps. If there are enough water droplets near the crystal, some can strike the crystal and freeze on contact. This gives the crystal little bumps called rime. Many snow crystals make one snowflake. Often, snow crystals bump into each other and get stuck together. When this happens, snowflakes form. Hundreds or even thousands of snow crystals can be found in a single snowflake. These are 2 snow crystals stuck together. Snowflakes we see falling from the sky are usually clumps of snow crystals like these. Individual crystals, which are sometimes also called snowflakes, can fall on their own, but they are much smaller and harder to see. Once a snow crystal lands, it starts to wither away. Snow crystals can't keep growing after they fall from the clouds. And when a crystal stops growing, it immediately starts to wither. Soon, the arms of the crystal break down and the crystal's shape becomes rounded. This means that if you want to see a snow crystal, you need to catch it in the air or find it as soon after it lands. When they're not in the clouds, surrounded by the water vapor, they need to grow. Snow crystals quickly start to erode. Try catching one on your sleeve or glove to see the crystal structure at its best. Are no 2 snow crystals alike? Some simple plate crystals may appear exactly alike, as seen through a high-quality microscope. When it comes to more complicated snow crystals, though, odds are that no 2 are exactly alike. But then, no 2 leaves, flowers, or people are exactly alike either. Snow crystals are like us. We're each different, but we have a lot in common. How to catch your own snow crystals. Get ready. Get these things ready so you can have them next time it snows. A piece of dark cardboard or foam core board. It should be about the size of this book. Make sure that the cardboard is stiff enough to stay flat when you hold it on the edge. And a magnifying glass so that you can see the snow crystals better. Now wait until it snows. During a snowfall, number 1, Put the cardboard or foam core outside for at least 10 minutes before catching snow. It needs to be cold, or else the snow will melt right away after landing. Make sure the board stays cool and dry. Number 2, gripping the board by one edge, hold the board out flat and watch as the snow lands on it. If it's snowing hard, step under a porch roof or some other shelter so less snow falls on the board. Otherwise, the board will fill up with snow. Number 3, look at the smaller bits of snow that land on the board. This is where you will find the individual snow crystals. Use the magnifying glass to look at them closely. And number 4, once you have looked at the snow, shake off the board and try again. In the right kind of snowstorm, you should be able to see many individual snow crystals. Snow catching tips. Make sure that it's cold enough if the snow melts when it hits the board, or if rain is mixed with the snow, the temperature is probably too warm. Look for tiny snow crystals, not big snowflakes. Remember, snowflakes are lots of snow crystals clumped together. Sometimes the snow is all broken up and looks like a light powder. Not every snowfall has unbroken snow crystals. If the snow just isn't right, don't give up. Try again another snowy day, or wait until you go on a ski trip. A snow crystal is a letter from the sky.